Hello, my technical drawing and design class. Today we're doing the assignment number 3 of the Georgian house project, which is the chairs grouping. As you can see right here on my screen, I have the 4 of them in here. This is the finished product. So let's go ahead and get rid of everything and we will step through it. Pull, delete. Here we go. At this point, I am looking at our sheet here. Again, I always suggest to you all print out the copy of the instructions. Also, print out the page that has all of uh, the pictorial diagram. But for the most part, we are working through the instructions here. It makes a lot more sense. Uh, Through here, you can see what our settings are going to be, operations, our commands used, everything that's in the procedure to draw the chair, all those parts, that is up for you to go ahead and set up before this video. This video will not cover that except for one option, which is under the other settings. It says the fillet radius. There's a couple ways to set that, and you should always check this as you're starting out. You can go to fillet right here, click, and then instead of clicking something else right afterwards, you can type R for radius, and you can set your radius. I want to set this to something weird because I'm going to change it another way also. Then hit escape. Another way you can do it is without having anything selected. You can see my crosshairs are there with an open box. I can type in fillet, Fillet, and then rad, R-A-D. That stands for radius. Fillet radius brings me right to there. I want my fillet radius, according to my instructions here at the moment, to be 0. There we go. My fillet is at 0. So I am ready to draw. Again, you should already have your units set. You should already have your area set. You should already be looking to your limits. All of this you should know how to do at this point. If not, go back to one of my earlier videos or ask me in class. As you can see here, last name, chair. So I am ready to go. So we're going to start with step 1, the line command. We are going to just go ahead and start drawing out the chair. I'm going to let you know in forethought here, don't start down this bottom corner. In a later step, we end up mirroring this thing. It's a pain. So I'm just going to come up here up near the top, zoom in a little bit, uh, and I'm going to select a point about where one of these crosshairs are. You can see that I'm actually floating around a lot. This has to do with my settings to set this file up. My snap is off, but my grid is on, my ortho is on, and my O snap is on. My O snap, I have everything selected correctly. So it gives me a little more freedom to move around. So let's see here. My distance, 2 foot 8 inches. Since I have my ortho on, I can only do horizontals and verticals. So this is fine. I can just click. And this is supposed to be just 2 foot 8 inches. Good. 2 foot 8 inches. Good. And close it off. There we go. Press escape. There we go. Number 1 is done. Save. Keep saving. Second, we're going to offset. And what we're doing, according to the instructions, we are offsetting the front, which is down here, and the 2 sides. We are offsetting those at 4 inches, and then the back here we are offsetting at 6 inches. So offset my size 4 inches. This is not a new command, so we should be good here. 4 inches, move it in. 4 inches, move it in. 4 inches, move it in. Press escape. I want a new offset. This time I'm doing 6 inches. Enter. And from the back, there we go, 6 inches. Now I am going to, no, we're going to keep going from here. All right, so escape. This is step 2, save it. Looking good. Step 3, we're going to trim. It says trim the arms using the trim at the cutter edge prompt. Turn all edges into cutting edges. So if you ever want to select things, anytime it's underneath of a box, if you start in the bottom right corner and move up, anything it touches, it will select. If you start from the upper left and come down, it's only what you fully cover that is selected. So it's kind of a quick little shortcut for you. So what I want to do, again, is I'm trimming, bottom right. I want everything here. So now they're all trim edges. It says select objects. I have them all. Press enter. And now I want to get rid of that line. This is all from right here. You can see it right here in this picture. The other page that you printed out. So hopefully you can see that. So I am getting rid of these edges. Kind of looks like armchair sides, doesn't it? Exactly what I want. Press escape. I now have step 3 done. Control S for save. Step 4, I want to offset the top of the chair back. Now I'm going to tell you, step 4 and step 5 are almost the same thing. We do it and then we do it again. So I'm just going to do these both at the same time here so I don't have to grab the tool twice. So 4 inches, enter. I'm grabbing the back, bringing down 4 inches. That's step right there 4. And then step 5, I'm going to grab the one that we brought and do it again. That's it. Press escape. Save it because steps 4 and 5 are now done. Now, we're starting to get into trimming the lower parts here. And I'm going to bring you back to the pictures here. We are getting ready to not only trim out this little spot, which is on our screen, this little line here, the edges that are in our cushions. We will be doing that. And we are also going to be filleting the corners here. So we have nice rounded edges. This is all inside around step 6. So we got a few things to do here. First, it says for 6A, or no, just for 6, we're doing the lower back part between the arms. We're trimming it. What it's saying is grab this trim tool and let's just go ahead and grab it all. That works. So I have my objects and click there and click there. There we go. That's the trim part of it. Press escape. Now for the fillet, I'm just going to go ahead and save this because this is a little more involved. For the fillet, now we're at 6A. We're going to make the rounded shapes at the front corners of the arms and cushions. So this is my cushion here, and this is the front of my arms here and here. So first thing we need to do is reset our fillet radius. So I'm going to type in FILLETRAD for fillet rad or fillet radius. And it says in here for step 6B triple I to do it at 3/4 of an inch. So 3/4 double quote for inch. Enter. Here we go. Set. Now we're going to start doing the fillet. And it tells us right here in our 6C to do the front corners of the cushion first. There's a reason for this. It has to do with what goes away. So I'm going to grab the left side there. I'll grab the front. And you can see there's that nice little 3/4 inch radius fillet. It's nice and rounded off for us. Smooth this over. Grab the tool. I still have that radius set, so I'm going to go here and here. Very good. The front of my cushions are done. Now let's do the arms. So I'm going to grab fillet. I want to grab here. So now I have a nice little rounded corner there. I'm going to go fillet here. Do those two. Nice little rounded corner there. Very nice. And then I want to go ahead and round off this spot here too. This is where things are going to start going away from us, but that's fine because we've adjusted for that. So I'm going to grab, fillet. Thank you. I want this object. I want the second object. And there it is. It's nice and rounded, but that line went away. Don't worry about that at the moment. We're going to get that back. So once again, we'll do it to the other arm. And there we go. We now have our arms looking nice and pretty. So it actually goes that, oops, we messed up, which we really didn't, which is what 6D says. But basically it's saying that there are other ways to do that, which we will learn later. but for the most part, we're going to deal with something called grips. So what grips are, if you ever look when you grab a line or something like that in another program, you had those little boxes on the ends, those are grips. That's what we're going to adjust. We're just going to bring those, since we have our ortho on and we have our O snaps, this is going to be so simple, it's not funny. So I have my crosshairs with the empty box. If you do not, press escape, that gets you there. I'm going to grab this line right here. And now you can see those boxes here. 1, 2, this is the midpoint here, and 3. Now what I want to do is I just want to bring these things down. In AutoCAD, if I select one, you can see that it turned it to a red. This turned that box hot, and that's what I am moving. You can see the other point. If I move this thing around, it's anchored on the other end, which is cool. But I'm going to bring this down until all of a sudden, hey, my crosshair has that green box around it again. Remember, the crosshair with the green box means an endpoint. So if I click and I can press escape, hey, look, there it is. My line is back. It's all the way down there. And that just has to do with grabbing this line, getting the grip, selecting the grip, and then getting it back onto the other endpoint because of the O snaps being on. And I've extended that line. That's it. It looks like step 6 is very, very heavy. It's not. That's all it is. So let's go ahead and save this. Remember, save often, save well. Okay, step 7. Step 7, we're going to start making guidelines. We're going to do our buttons here. The way to do the buttons, it tells us we're going to offset the inside cushion arm lines right here. We'll be offsetting those 6 inches. We're going to be offsetting this line here 6 inches. It says the back seat cushion, so that's right there, 6 inches. And the front seat cushion, which is right there, 6 inches. So that's all right there in 7A. So very good. I'll grab my offset tool, 6 inches. Here's the back of the cushion. Bring it down 6 inches. Looking pretty. Bring this one up 6 inches. Very good. Bring this one in 6 inches. And bring this line in 6 inches. And press escape. Yes, it looks a little funky right now. It's supposed to. The big thing is we're just looking for these intersections. They're going to help us out. And again, later we are going to delete them. So now we are at 7B, which we are going to do the circle command. I'm going to grab a circle. We're only going to draw one of these buttons. So I'm going to go right here in the center here. You can see where the intersection is. I now have my crosshairs there, and then I have that green X. That's telling me I have an intersection. So that's where I want to click. I'll pull this out a little bit just so I start to make a circle. Now, if you come back and look at me again, right here on your paper, we talk about these buttons and we have a 1-inch diameter. When we're working with the circle tool we're not putting in diameters, we're putting in radius. And that's what we're talking about here in 7B step 4. It's telling us to put in the radius. If this is a 1-inch diameter button, that means our radius is half of that. Radius is always half, so instead of 1 inch, we put in ½ inch. If it was a 3-inch button, we'd put in 1.5 inches. A 4-inch button, we'd put in 2 inches, things of that nature. But this is a 1-inch button, so we're doing a ½ inch. Press enter. There it is. I have a button. Now, we're not going to go through and put in more buttons. We're going to use this really, really cool tool here now called copy. So I'm going to grab my copy tool, and it's going to say select the object. This is a new tool that we haven't used yet. So I'm going to select my object. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so y'all can see this better. Okay, so I'm going to select my object, which is that circle. That's all the objects I'm copying at the moment, so I'm going to press enter. It says, what's my base point? Now, we have these intersections for these buttons, so my base point is actually going to be right in the middle of my button. So my center, I'm going to click there. And then what I can do is just drag over, and once I get off onto this intersection, it is perpendicular. You can see I had that little green symbol there. Say, hey, I'm at a perpendicular intersection. So that's good. I'll click. Let's drag down. And hey, look. because I'm working off of the same one here. Drag down, and look, I'm at perpendicular. That works. And then you can see I'm at an actually, I was going to press escape. We're going to do this one again. We will copy. We'll grab this one. We have our objects. Press enter. My middle point is the center. Let's just come over here. Oops. Right there at the intersection. Select it. Escape. And there we go. Using the copy command, I have now put these 4 circles directly at those intersections because I used the base point being the center of the circle, which is in the middle of the this intersection, and then I just copied it intersection to intersection. Our guidelines are no longer needed, so let's get rid of them. There, go away. Go away. I'm hitting, if you're on a regular keyboard, you can use delete. That's what I'm doing. Otherwise, like I selected it. Actually, I'm going to show you a different way. If you're on your Chromebooks, I can come here to my erase tool and say erase you, erase you, erase you, and erase you. Press enter because I got them all erased. And as I zoom out, there we go. We have a chair. Fun times. So I'm going to save this real quick. And now I'm going to copy the chair. I'm just going to pan this over a little bit. Now, in my settings originally, I set my minor lines to 4 inches. And then since my minor lines are 4 inches, I went with a major line of 3 every 3. So I know that if I look at a block here, I have a 1 foot or 12-inch change. So now what we are going to do is we are going to copy this big chair here. So I'm going to grab copy. It says select objects. I am going to click in the bottom right, move to the top left. That got me all of them. Press enter. Specify my base point. So my base point, since I started at this little strong weight or intersection, it's going to be right there. Very good. I have it. And now it's going to move over. So okay, if I counted the lines here, it would be 4, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, or sorry, try again. 4, 8, 12, 16, 18, 16, no, 16, 20, 24. Right there. Well, something else that'll actually help with this, I'm going to show you that real quick. We can turn our snap settings back on right down here. Let's do that. And now I'm going to copy this thing again. We're going to make our lives a ton easier. Very good. Got my corner objects. Grab the corner. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So that's 4, 8, 10, 4, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And click. There we go. I now have those offset at 24 inches. So now we're talking about, that's step 8. Let me go ahead and save it. All right, now we're going to mirror this thing. It's another new tool for us. So to mirror this thing, it says we want to mirror the 2 chairs at 5 feet apart. So they're going to be facing each other 5 feet apart. The reason for this is later on we end up putting, I believe, a table in between this, something like that. But with that said, let us mirror this. So it says we want to mirror the 2 chairs 5 feet apart. To do that, we need to have a mirror line. So what the mirror line is, think of it as it says in the instructions here, you are taking a sheet of paper and you're folding it in half. If I was to take this 11-inch sheet of paper, fold it in half, just like this, This fold spot right here is directly in the middle. So instead of it being 11 inches, this is at 5.5 inches right there. Same idea with this mirror line, and it's something we will be putting out there and then we will be getting rid of. So for this, if we want our chairs 5 feet apart, we're going to mirror a line at 2 feet 6 inches. So I have my offset tool because we're just going to offset the line as a guide. 2 foot 6 inches, center. I'll grab one of these front edges. That'll be fine. And there it is at 2 foot 6 inches. Press escape. Perfect. I'm happy with that. Now I want to come up here to the mirror tool this time. And mine looks like two triangles side by side. We are going to mirror. What is it I want to mirror? I want to mirror everything here, but not my mirror line. Obviously, I don't need to mirror that. So I have all my objects. Press enter. Specify my first point. So my first point is actually going to be this line right here. I want to grab this corner right here, or this line. Very good. I'm sorry. I just messed that up again. Let me try this mirror. There we go. So I have all my objects, press enter. Specify the first point of mirror line. That's where I just messed up. It says specify the first point of the mirror line. The mirror line is what we put down here. So I'm going to grab this line. I'm just going to kind of drag across it, and you can see it automatically put it in there. Now it's going to ask me after I click, do I want to erase the source objects? No, I do not. If I did, it would erase these two, which is not what I want to do. I just want a nice little mirror. I'm going to select this line and delete. That's it. Save. This is the chairs project. If there are any questions, please let me know. I've thrown a couple new commands at you this time where we are now filleting with a radius setting. We're using grips that we haven't used before. We're using the circle command, which you might have used in the shutter. And, well, actually, you would have used in the shutter. We use the copy and copy multiple copies and the mirror command. Those were our new ones. Again, any questions, please let me know in class.